Spencer tries to strong-arm Corey and Chum.
The Incredible Hulk, and now the Wolverine. These comics can go upwards of $10,000.
Then I try to drum up a deal. This is cool. Bon Jovi. They got an incredible history. Slippery When Wet went on to sell like 13, 14 million albums. And Chum shoots for the moon when he and I take a trip to LA to see some out-of-this-world kicks. I still haven't seen the Space Jam news.
This is definitely the holy grail.
Hey, what do we got here?
A drumhead that's signed by John Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora, David Bryan, and Tico Torres.
Sweet. Bon Jovi, incredible artist, incredible band.
Yes, they are one of the top bands in the world as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I know, like, if you're my age, you have been to a Bon Jovi concert in this country somewhere. And
Yes.
you've held up the lighter.
I'm here at the pawn shop to sell my Bon Jovi autographed drumhead and sticks. This drumhead has been used in an actual concert at the Lost Highway Tour in 2008. I'm asking $12,000. I'm looking to sell this drumhead and get some extra money for my retirement.
This is cool. Bon Jovi. They got an incredible history. I mean, like, they were just one of the mega bands of the 1980s. John Bon Jovi started singing and doing different things around 1980. 83, they got the band together,
Right.
and they just rocketed into stardom. I think it was 1986 when they came out with their biggest album, Slippery When Wet.
Yep.
They're great songs, Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive, and You Give Love a Bad Name.
Oh, yeah.
A few times in my life I've wanted to sing that to a woman. There's a great story with that album art, too. I guess for months they were arguing about the album cover, and they knew they were going to call it Slippery When Wet. So literally the deadline, we have to have the artwork today. The photographer, my understanding is, just took a black plastic trash bag, threw it on the ground, sprayed a hose over it. It's slippery when wet.
Yep.
I mean, that went on to sell like 13, 14 million albums.
Right.
So, looks like it was actually used on stage from Osaka, Japan.
Yep. I believe the sticks are used as well.
Yeah, the sticks are signed by...
Tico Torres.
and the rest of the band on the drumhead.
Right.
So, you looking to sell it?
Yeah.
What do you want for it?
I'm looking to get around 12,000.
Okay. I mean, it's a really cool display, and you got the whole band there. But I don't know how often they sign stuff. So let me get my expert down here to look. I'll be right back.
I don't have any concerns with an expert looking at it because I know it's authentic, and I think he will evaluate pretty close to the asking price, if not just over.
I might need a coffee, Big Hoss. You want one?
How we doing, guys?
Look what the cat dragged in.
I know. Well, hey, you should be cheering up because I brought some A-game stuff today.
I know how you do it here, Spencer. You like to bring in a bunch of different items that have nothing to do with each other.
Gotta have that shotgun effect with you guys and see what sticks. I always love seeing these guys because sometimes I get lucky and they shell out the big bucks. So today I'm bringing in a very rare Green Beret from the Vietnam era, a very rare Hulk comic book, and some vintage caramel candy presidential cards. I love moving the quantity, and usually it's pretty easy to do with these guys.
Right off the bat, I see this amazing comic book right here, The Incredible Hulk, and now the Wolverine. Pretty cool. This came out in November 1974, and it was only 25 cents at the time. It's got to be worth at least $1 or $2 now, right? They pretty much introduced one of the most iconic Marvel characters of all time in the Wolverine. And they later adapted the animated movie, The Hulk vs. the Wolverine, from this comic book right here. These comics can go upwards of $10,000, but it's not in the greatest condition. If we end up buying it, we really should take it in to get appraised. What else do you have here?
These are presidential playing cards, I'm assuming?
That's correct.
Who wants presidential playing cards?
I guess that was the Pokemon of the day.
Pretty cool, man.
Is this a game or is this like a trading collectible card?
It's just like a trading card thing. If you had all the presidents that they released, you would win a prize. But there's one that they didn't make a lot of, so you wouldn't win that many prizes.
Yeah, unfortunately, they only, I think, 10 exist. William McKinley is the one that's very rare, and it's an expensive card. I think upwards of $100 grand. So sorry guys, I ain't got that one.
But I know even without McKinley, these cards are really collectible. What else you got?
I've got here, this is a genuine Vietnam Green Beret.
This is really cool, and I know this stuff is collectible. Where did you get the Green Beret?
Oklahoma. Just along my travels, just picking around. Some guy had a bunch of hats, and that was at the bottom of the box.
All right, well, you got a few different things here. I guess let's start with the Green Beret. How much are you looking to get for that?
About $2,500 for that, man. It's a very, very desirable item.
I mean, I know this stuff's worth some money, Corey, but I don't know if there's much room in there for you. What do you think?
I'm good on that, Spencer.
This one here, I think we might be able to work something out. I'll take $1,000.
You take $1,000 for it.
$1,000.
Spencer, I'll tell you what. I'll give you $400.
All right. Look, I want to make a deal, so let's $800.
$500.
And that's us taking a big gamble. We won't know what this thing's worth until we take it in to get looked at.
Hey, it's an expensive trip out here, so just come on, help me out. $600.
$600 on the comic. All right.
Okay.
So what do you want for the presidential cards?
$1,200, man. They're in a sleeve, they're ready to go. Just gotta put them out here. That's it. It's nothing to it, guy. It's easy.
Man, it's like I'm buying a used car every time you come in here. I'll give you $800 for these.
All right, I can do that. $800. That's fine. That's fine.
Chum, 6 on that, 800 on that. He'll write you up over there.
Always like doing deals with you, Corey. I appreciate it. But the money I just made, I think it's time to give my mom a little payback for some of the leads she's given me over the years. So I'm gonna take my mom on a trip somewhere.
Hello?
Hi.
What do you got here?
So I have a Super Bowl 37 bucket hat.
Super Bowl 37, 2003. Tampa Bay versus the Raiders.
I only watch the Super Bowl for the halftime shows.
I think the halftime on this one was Shania Twain, Sting, and No Doubt.
I've never heard of any of those people.
Okay, you just made me feel super old.
Today I'm at the pawn shop to sell my Super Bowl 37 bucket hat. The hat was actually given to me for my dad, but when I gave it to him, he said, "These aren't my teams," and didn't want it. So even though the hat is from 2003, the hat looks brand new. It has all the tags on it, and it's never been worn. I'm here today to negotiate. I have a number that I won't go below, so hopefully they'll give me a little more than that.
Okay, Super Bowl 37. You were probably barely bored then?
Oh, thank you.
I think Tampa Bay had the #1 defense and the Raiders had the #1 offense. It was like the first time it ever happened in the Super Bowl. It was supposed to be this great Super Bowl. Kind of a blowout. Tampa Bay, I think, won by like 20 points.
It's a lot of points.
But no, I mean, it was held in San Diego. Every Super Bowl is a big deal. Okay, and people always buy tons of merch. And people started like, hey, if I get it, I keep all the tags on it, it'll be worth a whole lot of money one day because people collect this. And it's a bucket hat, which is an old man hat. I know they were popular way back in the day. Actually, it started off as like a military hat.
Okay.
They're like special forces and stuff actually wore these, but they were OD green and everything like that during the Vietnam War. What do you want for it?
I'm asking for $100.
Okay, a few things. It's a small. They're hard to sell, but it does have the tags on it. Never used. I'll give you $25.
That's kind of low. Can you go a little higher? I'm actually trying to get something for my mom for her birthday.
It's only 17 years old. Well, I'll probably get $50 out of it, but not much more than that. I'll give you 30.
I think that's a little too low for me. I think I'm gonna go try and sell it on the internet.
Okay, but if you change your mind, come and see me.
All right, thank you.
She apparently had her goalpost set way too high.
A little while ago, our picking buddy Spencer came into the shop to sell us some items. One of the things Corey and I purchased was a 1974 Incredible Hulk issue 181 comic book. I know a little bit about comics and their collectability, so Corey and I decided to just go for it and pay $600. Now we have to price this for resale, so we decided to get out of the shop and head down to the comic store to see our good buddy Steve Houston. Hopefully this book is worth a lot of green. Hey guys, how you Steve.
Good. So, I heard that you guys have a whole comic for me.
Not just any Hulk comic. This is a good one for you. Hulk 181.
Wow.
I know the comics from the Bronze Age are very collectible, and this is the first comic that Wolverine was introduced into the Marvel world, so I know these can't go for a lot of money, but I don't know nothing about condition.
Well, your instincts are 100% correct. Everyone wants this book. This is actually the first full appearance of Wolverine. He makes a small appearance in issue 180, and another small appearance in 182. And at the time, no one knew, no one cared. Little did they know, that a couple of years later, this guy was going to join the X-Men. So, in my opinion, this is the most significant book of the entire 1970s. I'm going to take a little look at this thing then. It's a little tight. Oh, there you go. You have a Marvel value stamp.
And what's that?
Back in the day, Marvel had this little marketing plan where they would have their readers cut stamps out so that they could put them into a little booklet.
So you're actually cutting a hole in your comic book.
Yes, and basically you're making it incomplete. But good thing is, this book has it. Looks like that upper staple is loose. Now, this is a low-grade book. However, this book is in such high demand, I can't tell you how many people want this book, and the prices on this book are going through the roof. So what people are doing now is they're coming down in their grades. Yes, this book will move a lot quicker in low grade.
So what is the grade?
This is a 1.8.
I thought it was closer to a 3, but what do I know?
The amount of damage here is significant. And how much did you pay for it?
600.
The good news for you guys, even at 1.8, you're looking at retail here, $1,300.
All right, well, that's definitely more than we paid for it. A lot more. More than double.
You did a great job on this book, guys.
Well, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Anytime.
All right, well, I want to look around. You have a lot of cool stuff in here, not just comics.
Go ahead, have fun.
Don't go spending all the profits. A customer's in the shop with a Bon Jovi display with a signed drumhead. He's asking for $12,000, and I'm going to have to admit, I'm definitely a fan. But Rockstar autographs are faked all the time. So I'm calling in the expert who will always be there for you, Steve Grad. He's coming down, and he's going to tell me what he thinks. Hey, Steve, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Rick? How you doing? Hey, how are you?
What do you think?
Well, it looks like you had a drum head, Rick.
A drum head, some drumsticks, Bon Jovi.
Okay. They put on a pretty good show. Still pretty popular. He started his musical career probably about 1979, 1980, that range. And he sang backup on a Star Wars Christmas album.
There's a Star Wars Christmas album.
Yeah, there is. His brother produced it, and he got in and sang backup.
Only you would know that.
Pretty cool, huh?
No.
So, I mean, the band's kind of done it all. They've done a little country, pop, glam, hard rock, hair band, you name it. Jump on Joe.
You bring up the hair thing, did you?
I did. Well, I don't have it either, but, you know.
Believe it or not, I had hair. Didn't start falling out until Corey became a teenager.
I can see that. Makes a lot of sense. So obviously your concerns, Rick, are about the signatures themselves.
Well, and what's it worth? Is it worth more because he says it was used on stage?
Okay, so John's always had kind of this flamboyant signature that stood out. And as you can see, it's kind of almost the same thing. He interloops everything kind of together and lets it roll. This would be David Bryan. And David's kind of the sloppier one of the band. Once again, this is a little sloppier version, but it matches up pretty nice to that. Richie Sambora has never really changed. He has a really nice signature for a rock star, kind of looking at the same thing. And then the last one is Tico, which doesn't give you much, just a T and a line. This is actually a nice one.
All right, so you think they're all real, though?
Well, you know, based on everything I see here, obviously, we've got live ink, signatures of the main 4 band members. Absolutely no doubt about it. That's genuine autographs from all 4 of them.
Okay. So this guy's wanting $12,000.
Hey, Rick, I can base the value on just the signatures itself because it's hard to say, is this really used? Was this used in Osaka, Japan? Was it used on the 07-08 World Tour? With all that said, obviously a nice frame job. You've got the sticks. You got the whole plaque. Signatures are genuine. I put the value right at about $2,500.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Hope that helps.
I'll give you a call later.
All right, good luck. Thanks, man. No problem. Yep.
Okay, so it's definitely not worth 12,000.
Well, you know, I was just kind of, I was kind of hoping it would be around there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, are you interested in taking a lot less?
What's your offer?
$1,000.
How about 15?
I'll go $1,200.
Not even 14.
I'll tell you what. I'll go $1,250.
If you do 12.75, I'm in.
All right, we got a deal.
All right.
I'll meet you right up at the pawn counter. I'll get your ID. We'll do some paperwork, and I'll get you paid.
All right, thank you. I'm kind of disappointed in where the price fell. I figured it would go a little higher. Well, I'm not really beating myself up because I only paid $450 for it.
Hey, Rick. I've got some good news. I got a lead on some shoes. Worn by Michael Jordan in the movie Space Jam.
Okay.
So, soon the new Space Jam will be coming out. So,
There's a new Space Jam?
there's a new Space Jam they're going to make with LeBron James. So, I think it's a good time to maybe go look at these before the movie's hot again. And my buddy has them. These shoes are so hot, my friend has auction houses and private collectors trying to get these things before they hit the market.
How much does he want for the shoes?
A couple $100,000, I think.
If we're talking that kind of money, I'll go with it. Where are they at?
They're in California. I gotta call my boy and make sure you're allowed to come, though, okay?
We ain't allowed to come.
It's like friends and family kind of place. You have to be invited to go. So they don't just let anyone in there. So
he might just say, no, I'm not worthy?
well, it's not that you're not worthy. I'd just be like, no, he has no fashion sense. I don't need him in my store.
All right, we'll call your friend. We'll drive down there.
All right, I'll pick you up in the morning and we'll head to LA.
Okay.
All right, and do me a favor. Send me a picture of what you're gonna wear.
Really? I dress fine. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, what do we got?
Well, and they are pencil holders.
Okay, where's the other four? Are they still working in the diamond mine?
I wish. I'm at the pawn shop today to try to sell my Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs pencil holders. I have 3 of the Seven Dwarfs, Bashful, Dopey, and Happy. The pencil holders are still in good condition, but I kind of use these to hold some of my pencils. I've had these pencil holders for about 27 years, but I'm downsizing, so I'm looking to sell them. I'm hoping to get $650 for my Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs pencil holders.
This is interesting. Well, where in the world did you get these?
Well, they are from the 1950s, and my grandfather gave them to me when I was just a baby. I wish I had the other 4, but they kind of got lost when I was moving.
Okay, so obviously from Disneyland, I'm assuming.
Of course.
Okay. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was released in 1937, and people thought Walt Disney was absolutely insane for doing a feature-length animated film. It was going to be too long for kids to want to watch, and why would adults want to watch a cartoon? And the movie made $8 million. Do you have any idea how much money that would be today? It was just a massive success. They re-released it every 7 years. I mean, quite frankly, because every time they did it, they made a bunch of money. And Walt Disney was kind of a genius.
He really was.
Just like they thought he was crazy for doing a full-length animated film, they thought he was crazy for opening up Disneyland. Well, we all know how that worked out.
Very well.
You know, the other great thing was he realized he could sell his products there. They probably make $100 million a year off Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs around the world, you know? I mean, they're in really good shape. So what are you looking to do with them?
I'm looking to sell them.
Okay, and what are you looking to get out of them?
$650?
Let me just go ahead and tell you up front what my concern is.
Yes.
You know, if it were the Seven Dwarfs, I would say yes, no problem right away. But the movie's not called Snow White and the Three Dwarfs.
No.
So, if you don't mind, let me call a buddy of mine down so he can kind of give me an idea if just the three have a value together, or if it requires having the whole set to be able to sell them, okay?
Okay.
Hang out, I'll be right back.
No problem. I'm worried about the expert since I don't have the other 4 dwarves for my 7 dwarves, and that could really mess up the value.
Been in the business for a long time doing friends and family stuff, so he has a good clientele that wants to be more private, you know?
And he's got the Space Jam shoes.
He's got the Space Jams that Michael Jordan wore in the movie.
Okay, does he got other cool tennis shoes?
Yeah, he's gonna have some other cool stuff for sure. Let's just hope he lets you in with that shirt. What's up, Chum Lee? Can you buzz me in? Look at all this stuff. Just take all this in.
Okay.
Chum,
Hey, what's going on?
finally, dude.
Rick? Dre, Rick.
Pleasure to meet you.
Listen, Dre, we came down to look at the Space Jams, but I've heard so much about the vault. I really gotta get into that and see that before we start talking about work. What do you say, boss?
What's the vault?
It is basically the room with all the cool stuff in it.
It's like the creme de la creme of sneakers, basically.
Okay.
All right, let's go. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You have some amazing stuff.
Just right off the top, though, I see a whole case full of stuff I want right here.
He's got to be a fortune.
So you remember the flu game?
Who doesn't remember the flu game?
Well, this is the backup locker room pair.
Really?
Pretty crazy, right?
So those shoes were meant to be worn by Michael Jordan.
Players have a backup pair. This
Wow.
is the one from the locker room.
That's pretty sick right there. What's up with these Yeezys right here? They look different here.
Those are actually worn on stage by Kanye. It's a little piece of history.
And this other pair of Yeezys?
So yeah, those are the first ones he ever wore. That was the first sample, and those were actually worn on the Glow in the Dark tour.
He's got to have millions of dollars worth of shoes here.
Does it ever stop?
Keeps going and going and going.
Chum and I are in Los Angeles at a sneaker warehouse full of rare and cool shoes. And they actually have a pair of shoes that Michael Jordan wore in the movie Space Jam. These shoes are apparently going up for auction, but Chum has in, so I get to look at them first. Hey guys, what's up?
Oh, nothing. Found some pretty cool stuff here, Rick.
Alright, so those are...
Those are actually Yeezys. Trey tells me that those were worn by Yeezy on stage to perform in a concert.
Easy's a rapper, right?
Yeah. To take an offer upwards of 200,000.
Okay, let's talk about those shoes.
These are the Paris Dunks. The panels on them are cut from one piece of fabric. No two pairs are the same.
And only released in Paris.
So how much you want for those?
70.
Dollars?
Thousands.
Okay, alright. And these?
These were shoes that were made friends and family for Eminem.
Yeah, this was actually made in 2017, and it was just kind of like an unofficial re-release that was given to Eminem and a couple of celebs.
And the price?
We're at 35,000.
And they match your shirt perfectly.
Okay, and these are used?
Those are not used. I don't think they're used anyways. And these
No,
are
they're not used.
these are the Freddy Krueger Dunks, and these are in my top 5 sneakers of all time. The movie company actually sued Nike to demolish these. So Nike decided that they would pour oil on them first before they burnt them. Basically, this oil stain kind of authenticates it that it actually came out of the pile.
So how much are the Freddy Kruegers?
We have them listed for 28,000.
So what do you think about these, Chum?
Well, I think they're all amazing, Rick, but I asked a buddy of mine, Yeezy Buster, to come by, knowing that we were going to be looking at the Space Jams. Basically, he has made his name telling the difference between fake shoes and real shoes.
I know of him, so that's great. I think it's going to be fun.
Okay.
But they could bring someone else and get another opinion, but I'm making sure that they're giving me the correct market value, and I'm going for the top dollar.
I have a guy in the shop with us that has Snow White pencil holders. Disney stuff is highly collectible, but he only has 3 of the 7 dwarfs. He's asking $650 for it, and I'm not really sure that I can sell this without it being a complete set. So I called in our expert Rob to see if these things are worth a shot or not. So check these out.
Oh, yeah?
We've got Dopey, Happy, and Sleepy.
Yeah, those are really neat pencil holders, I'm assuming.
Yes.
You know, Snow White items are always a great Disney collectible because it's played such a cornerstone in the history of what the Disney company became. And as I understand, at the time, the public really reacted to what dwarf they thought that they may have been. Like, who would you be, Corey, if you had to relate to one?
I'd go with either Happy or Doc.
What about Rick and Chumley?
Chumley definitely Dopey, and I mean, is there an arrogant dwarf?
They look fantastic. The condition looks amazing from here. Corey, what's your concerns about these guys?
Yeah, pretty much, man. My biggest concern is I'm missing 4 dwarves.
Yeah, so you're missing Sleepy, Sneezy, Doc, and I'd love to look at them a little closer and seeing how nice they are, because that would, give me a little bit more to go on. So we're going to look at Dopey here. Just right off the bat, you'd expect to see maybe a finger chipped off or one of the ears missing, and he looks completely intact, no paint missing. And then this has got to be Happy, right? Walt Disney Productions on the bottom, very cool. Maybe a little bit of the hand missing on Bashful. They're in great shape, though. So the downside is obviously that we're missing 4 of the dwarves, but the upside is the 3 that we do have are in wonderful condition, and because they're very easily breakable, it's very possible that you could find a collector that's going to come in here to either upgrade a figure or to replace one that's been, damaged or destroyed.
Okay, so that being said, what do you think the 3 of them are worth?
I've seen these sell for about $100 each.
Okay, so $300 for the set?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that's a good fair price.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming down. Take care.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you for coming.
Well, my man, you heard what Rob had to say. I believe absolutely that these things can be worth $100 a piece. But for me to find a guy out there with a 7 Dwarves pencil set who just has to replace his Dopey, I really kind of think it would be like finding a needle in a haystack. Unfortunately, my man, this is just one of those things I'm going to pass on. I just don't think I have the time or the energy to try to sell them.
I understand.
But thanks for coming in, and next time, okay?
Thank you very much. Now I'm feeling like grumpy today because I didn't make the sale. But I'm sure I can find someone else that would love to buy these pencil holders.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
What do we got?
I have an antique 1765 medical book. It's one of the first important psychiatry books of that era, and it was written by the physician to King George.
Okay, it's about psychiatry, so I'm sure that everything in this book is completely wrong.
From 250 years ago, probably, yes. I'm looking to sell my 1765 antique medical book written by the physician to King George, Robert White. It was an important book about psychiatry for its time, and I would like to get this into the hands of somebody who would really appreciate it. I came prepared to negotiate, but I'm pretty confident the book is worth $2,500.
This is definitely cool. So where did you get it?
I bought that at a thrift store.
No matter what it's worth, since you got it from a thrift store, I'm pretty sure it's going to be worth more than what you paid for it.
I hope so. I hope I did well.
Do you mind if I open it up?
Not at all, please.
Okay. What are these on the front?
This is the armorial bookplate of Sir Archibald Grant of Money Musk Bar. And in his day, he was quite a collector of antique books. So coming from his collection with his bookplate in there is kind of neat. And then the second one is the Dr. John Farquhar Fulton. And Fulton is a renowned neuroscientist.
So what are you looking to do with it?
I would like to sell it today.
Okay, any idea what you're looking to get out of it?
$2,500.
Okay, I know that medical books can be highly collectible, but I would be insane not to call a friend of mine down to take a look at this because I have no idea what it could be worth. Do you mind hanging out for a few and having her come down?
No, that would be great. I'd be interested to learn a little bit more about it.
Okay, well, hang out and I'll be back in a few, okay?
Thank you. I feel confident about an expert. I would like to know more about the book, but I think it's a strong book.
Chum and I are in a warehouse in Los Angeles that sells sneakers, and they actually have a pair of shoes that Michael Jordan wore in the movie Space Jam. This warehouse is full of rare sneakers, and Chum has already found some other shoes that he says we should consider buying. Now we're waiting for Chum's expert, and hopefully Chum hasn't put me in a jam on this trip.
All right, here's your guy.
All right, Rick. Easy Buster, Rick.
I go by Easy Busta because I bust celebrities who wear fake Yeezys. I keep my identity hidden and wear a mask because I don't want to get sued for defamation.
So what do you think?
So, first up, we got the Freddy Kruegers, one of the most sought-after dunks ever. Do you mind if I take a closer look at them?
By all means.
Alright, so let's see. Here we can tell that the shoes are brand new. There's no heel drag. And, I mean, this is definitely an authentic pair. And they look amazing. I love this shoe. So I see you picked out the Encore 4s. This is actually the remake. It's an unofficial retro. The quality is on point. The smell.
What are you smelling for?
The glue that actually puts the shoe together is supposed to smell a certain way. Fake factories put a different type of glue that smells really authentic.
All right.
So tell me about Yeezys.
So these here are actually one of my favorites. The fact that Kanye actually wore these on tour is just incredible. This was actually supposed to be the fourth colorway of the Yeezy 1, but these shoes were scrapped completely, so there's only like a couple of sample pairs in existence.
All right. And the Paris ones.
When those released, plenty of people didn't really even care for them at the time because they didn't know their true value. So there's plenty of pairs that were just thrown on electricity lines and nobody really cared about them.
I mean, this shoe kind of is the shoe that, at the time, set skateboarding shoes on the map to be worth something more than just to skate in.
What do you think they're worth?
So for the Freddy Kruegers, I would price them at about $26,000. The Encores, I would price them $32,000. For the Fire Red or Ferrari Red Easy Sample, it's really hard to put a price on it just because there might only be one in the world. If I had to put a price on it today, I would say $150,000. And now the Paris Dunks, I would price that at around $72,000.
Okay.
Well, what do you think?
I still haven't seen the Space Jam shoes.
Well, we had to warm you up, Rick.
You know, we had a lot of cool sneakers out here, but this is definitely the holy grail.
Okay, let's take a look.
Oh my goodness.
Chum and I are in Los Angeles at a sneaker warehouse. Finally, we're going to get to see what we came here to see. The Michael Jordan worn sneakers for the movie Space Jam. Okay, let's take a look.
I've actually seen these once before and it took my breath away.
Oh, I thought a light was going to come up.
Oh my goodness. Rick, Michael Jordan wore those in one of the most iconic movies ever, Space Jam.
I don't think Space Jam was one of the most iconic movies ever.
It had Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny in the same movie. What's more iconic than that?
So I have the Air Jordans that Michael Jordan wore in the movie Space Jam. After the Michael Jordan Last Dance documentary, there's been so many people contacting me that found out about me owning these sneakers. So I think I'll act like a free agent and see how it all pans out.
Awesome.
Apparently MJ handed it to me.
Space Jam came out in 1996, and it was a live-action movie. It had Michael Jordan and some other basketball players in it, along with the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, he grossed a ton of money. It was like over $200 million it grossed. And there's a sequel coming out with LeBron James, right?
Let's just hope he does it justice.
This is more than just a movie prop. This was the first time that this model was unveiled. And this was like one of the most popular Jordans ever made, the Jordan 11.
So what do you think they would go for?
Just the fact that Space Jam is the highest grossing basketball movie of all time, and also The Last Dance that did come up, which made all of Michael Jordan's memorabilia just go through the roof. I can see these selling for upwards of $1 million.
Oh,
There you go. I'm happy to hear that.
yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming out. I'll be in LA for a few days. Maybe we can have some dinner.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll give you a
Sounds
call.
good.
Thank
Good
you.
luck, guys.
All right, Rick.
I don't know enough about the sneaker business. It's too much for me.
I mean, you can at least make the guy an offer.
I mean, I'd offer him like $300,000 because I just don't know enough about shoes.
You can't do better than that.
I'm good.
What about some of these other shoes? I don't want you to leave empty-handed, Rick.
I'm really interested in those Paris shoes.
Well, let me grab them.
Now, those are cool. So would you take like $5,000 for them?
No.
What would you take?
70 grand's a great deal. That's family love price.
60?
65.
Can we meet at 62?
Okay. Cool.
All right, deal. 62 grand.
Okay.
And
All right.
I'm going to do a little bit more shopping on stuff I can actually wear.
All right.
I don't even know who he is anymore.
I really was hoping that we might come to a deal on the Michael Jordan Space Jam shoes. But time will tell, and we'll see what happens with them.
I have a woman in the shop with a 1765 first edition medical book. She's asking for $2,500, but I really don't know much about this. I do know medical books are really collectible, especially about psychiatry. So I'm having Rebecca come in and give her diagnosis. Well, we have a old book on psychiatry. Sounded like something up your alley.
I'm glad you called me down. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
I can. It's a 1765 antique medical book, and it's written by Robert White, the physician to King George.
Okay, so Robert White, he was one of the great medicine practitioners in 18th century Edinburgh. Psychiatry as a discipline doesn't really become a thing here.
Okay.
And the main thing that he talks about in this book is the physical effects that you can have for nervous disorders.
So what do you think about the condition of it?
The condition actually is quite nice. I mean, you can see that there's wear around the joints and things, but this is probably the earliest binding that was put on that book. And, you know, it's still intact, it's still usable. So could I have you show me this book in a little bit of detail? Very nice. And I see these book plates here. Okay. So the first book plate, the big armorial book plate, Scottish politician, very appropriate for this book. But then below it, we have John Fulton's book plate. When I first see that, I go, ooh. So John Fulton, he was a historian who studied the history of science and published on it. He donated his book collection to the Yale Medical Historical Library. So when I see the book plate of John Fulton, my first thought is, shouldn't that be at Yale? But I see that there's an inscription here, and it's mentioning gifting it to someone who donated Jonathan Knight's copy of this edition to the Yale Medical Historical Library. So because this person donated their copy, Fulton didn't need to donate his copy to you.
That's great.
You didn't steal it.
I did not. I did not steal the book.
Congratulations.
Did not.
Well, I guess the big question is what do you think it's worth?
So this book is very findable in institutions across the world. So it's not incredibly rare, but it's a good book. It's an important book, and the provenance is great. So I would put the price somewhere around $3,200.
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming down.
Happy to help.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I gotta say, this rarely ever happens, but you came in and you asked for $2,500, and I'm more than comfortable giving you that. So, you want to make a deal at $2,500?
We have a deal. we have a deal?
One condition.
All right.
What'd you pay for it at the thrift store? $1.
$1.
Whew. Right around the corner, so a little red chip.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you very
much.
much.
I was actually a bit disappointed because I came to negotiate today, but since I got the price I was asking, I'm thrilled.
I cannot believe you, Rick.
I mean, like, these are really cool shoes.
Yeah, they are. I can't believe you bought a bunch of shoes I won.
Maybe it was my cool shirt?